Freaky fun for everyone. Sold
Leonardo, the katana blade. My cat.
Attack the evil Inhumanoid, forcing him back into the earth.
Hey, the name's Boglins. You sold separately.
Battle Armadillo and Excalibur each sold separately. You put them out together.
Turn them into the light, and they change into even more powerful.
Battle against Lion-O and the new Thundercat ally.
Hey guys, Dirt here. Today we're taking a look at the My Arcade micro arcade machines. These are from Dream Gear, and they feature games from Data East. And I've really actually been interested in how these are going to turn out. I've really been looking forward to reviewing these because they're a little different from some of the other things you see nowadays on the shelves. One, they're a little more expensive, so I'm wondering, is the quality going to hold up that much better? Two, this is from the Dream Gear company, and they make a lot of game devices, little handheld games, little retro-inspired arcade machines. If you've ever been in a Walmart or a Walgreens and you've seen one of these things, they make these. And they make them with a whole bunch of different skins on them, different stickers. And, you know, I bought one of these things just because I love the arcade culture. I love remembering what arcades were like. But the games on here are not necessarily great. You get a lot of games that they've made themselves, and they're serviceable. They're definitely, you know, Nintendo-inspired, NES-era inspired games, but they're not anything that you've ever seen, you know, you've actually bought cartridges for. They're all games that are made, you know, specifically for these types of devices. And so I'm just kind of wondering how well they do the emulation of actual arcade machines. And you can see also that these are a little bigger. When I put this retro machine here, you can see it's a little bigger. Here's one of the Arcade Classics machines I reviewed here, about the same size as this retro machine, and again you can see it's a little smaller. Here it is compared to the world's smallest arcade. I'm trying to find a good spot there so you can really judge the size, but definitely these are the biggest of these retro machine things that I've seen. So really curious to see how well these games, you know, Burgertime, Classic, Karate Champ, I remember playing a lot at the bowling alley. Bad Dudes, I know there are people who like Bad Dudes. It's never been my favorite, but I figured I'd go ahead and throw it in there anyway. So let's start here with Burgertime. I'll move these other two out of the way for now. As we take a look at Burgertime, Burgertime is a classic game. I remember playing a lot of this one. And you can see, again, the box, it's got the retro artwork there on the side. And then on the back, it shows you that it is indeed a full color screen device. And the joystick is actually removable, so it turns into kind of a NES type pad, which I think is interesting. It says it's powered by 4 AA batteries not included, which means I'm going to have to open this package and then do some scrounging here to find batteries. One thing that bothers me, though, is if you look closely, you can see that the sticker here has come separated from the cabinet itself. I can see a screw underneath there, so we'll have to see how well that will attach back on. It is nice, though, that you have some game history here. It says that this game is from 1982 originally, and so 82 would have been the year I started first grade, as a matter of fact. So that's cool. And then the big Data East logo, and then, oh, that's from something else that was on my desk. Okay, so anyway, overall, I think it looks cool. Like, it does have an arcade machine, you know, look to it, definitely. And the box is big. I mean, you can see that, you know, it's massive compared to some of the other tiny arcades. So this one, it's small enough to fit on your desk, but it's still bigger to draw a little more attention. And, you know, hopefully that screen is nice and bright, and so that would be part of the reason. Also, I've noticed that there's a lot of area around the screen. You know, some of these other ones, they've they have a little bit of artwork on the side, but not really like the arcades used to have. There used to be a lot of instructions and things on there, you know, telling you to put in 25 cents and whatnot. And I can see there's a little bit of the inspiration from, you know, this type of machine, but again, obviously it's much bigger and they have a lot more space to work with. So that is interesting. One thing though, I want to know, let's open this right now. I want to know, is this one of those with the stupid screws on the battery compartment? Or did they make it so you can actually get into it? So, if I can get this box open. I don't know why I'm being so gentle with it. I'm probably going to just throw this box away. But I always hate ripping stuff. I don't know, just weird that way. All right, so Micro Arcade user guide. It doesn't actually show a screw here, but we'll see. There's the speaker in the back, the switch for turning it on and off. Oh, there's a headphone jack. Okay, that's interesting. Volume power port. So there's actually a spot where you can plug in power instead, and then it talks about removing the joystick so you've got the pad. Warranty information, and then we go to French, and then we go to Spanish, and then we go to Italian. Interesting, okay. Don't see that one a lot. Portuguese. All right, so probably not, I'm going to guess Portugal, you may get some of this, but more likely Brazil. Is getting that. Dutch. Oh, well, then maybe it is going to Portugal because they've got Dutch. Deutsch. We've got, I'm going to say that's Japanese. Yeah, that's Japanese. And then Arabic. Oh, I thought Chinese would be on there. It is not. It's Arabic, as a matter of fact. Okay, well. All right, so take this guy out. In the box, there's a little bit of plastic stuck in the top that was holding that in place, and you can see it's on a plastic tray. And if we remove that, here is our arcade machine. They've got some extra artwork here on the top, your Burgertime on the front. Here's a sticker that's covering the screen. We'll remove that in a minute, but first, okay, so our joystick, our buttons, start and reset. If we unscrew this, so it's just the pad, I guess you can, it's light enough that you could, you know, just hold it, probably not like that, but maybe like this, like a big controller with the screen on it. That is a button. That's interesting. I do like the fact that they did put some artwork down there on the bottom. And there we've got our chef. Ah, no screw. And there's even a space for it, like they were going to, and then they said, you know what? Let's not be total jerks. And they didn't put the screw in there. So that's bonus points for these guys here. Now, the arcade machine side, I have seen arcade machines like this before, where it has this bit that sticks out, even though it's, you know, not fully fleshed out to the edge. I don't remember if Burgertime actually had machines like this. In fact, I'll bet in order to stay away from the designs of some of the other companies putting stuff out, that's what they went with. But again, I don't know how accurate that was to the actual arcade back in the day. We're going to screw this back in here because I'm going to play with the joystick the way arcades were meant to be. Back when video games were created, dagnabbit. All right, let's find some batteries, peel off this screen, and see what happens. All right, we've got our Toys R Us branded batteries in there, ready to go. And I do like how there is a port here. Looks like similar to the micro USB that you would use on your phone or other small devices. You could use that to run this, although I'm guessing you couldn't put rechargeable batteries in there and have them recharge. I bet that's just to run off of. But still, again, that's nice. Again, you have this at work. It's sitting on your desk. You can just use your phone charger to play it and then set it back down. But, all right, so this coin return thing, this is going to be our power button. And I'm going to remove the sticker here for our screen underneath. And it's weird because this is just a little bit bigger than the space that was in there. And yet this is another sticker on top. It's not like this is the cutout from this actual frame. That frame is a different type of sticker than this one. Just, I don't know, interesting. Okay, why not? Something to talk about. You're welcome. And then let's start this up. There we go. Data East, 1982. Start. There's no 2-player or press button to enter coins, so it's obviously been adjusted from arcade for home use. What about volume? Is the volume up? Oh. All right. Okay. Now that we've played that for a minute, let's talk about it for just a bit. Okay, so the buttons, you really only have one button in Burgertime, and it's to throw out your salt or pepper. And so what they've done is they've just duplicated that between the two buttons. Oh, by the way, this side piece, yeah, totally stuck back on, no problem. Okay. You press the button, and I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit for a better look at the screen. One problem that I noticed when I was playing is that I would get stuck on these platforms. As you're moving the little joystick around, you know, it's tough to gauge when exactly it's time for you to run across that platform. It's a lot easier at the top, you know, because you're up, you can't go up anymore, and so then you can just run across. But when you're in some of these middle levels and you know, suddenly move to try to run off to the side, you're not right there. You're still a step up, or maybe 2 steps up, whatever it is. And so that does make it a little wonky to try to figure out where exactly you are. See, like right now I'm stuck. I got to go back down a little bit and then move across. So it's really not that big of a deal, but it's one of those things that, you know, if you're playing a game pretty fast and furious. Oh, I was trying to get him. You're playing a game pretty fast and furious, and you can't, you know, quite move in time, and that's going to cost you some lives. And that's just a matter of how the machine is made. That's just the hardware involved. So not a whole lot you can do about it. And that can also be kind of a sticking point for some people that were playing, you know, on other home platforms. If you were playing on the like Atari 2600, it could have also been an issue. So not the biggest problem in the world, but it's still something to watch out for. But having said that, I love Burgertime. I love playing this game. Well, I love burgers. I mean, let's be fair. So I love burgers. I love Burgertime. This is an actually pretty good machine. I can see myself spending a lot of time playing it. Now, compared to playing something like this you can play, but it is a lot harder, and you have to keep adjusting to try to... You don't want it too close that it's right in your face. You want it far enough away that you can hold your hands comfortably. I think that is, you know, it is a little bit bigger than this one as far as size, although the screen is about the same. So the screen difference really isn't that much bigger for being a bigger sized machine. But it does look pretty impressive. I mean, you got to admit, having this sitting on your shelf or sitting on your desk, that actually looks pretty good. That is pretty cool looking overall. So yeah, Burgertime, I could definitely sit and play this one for a long time, but fine, for the sake of doing these reviews, let's move on. All right, now we've got Karate Champ. This one is from 84, I think. Karate Champ Granddaddy Fighting Games, 84. Has been hailed as the earliest influencer of the modern fighting genre. So I do remember playing this game a lot, and I remember this and what was it, Kung Fu, which later came out on the NES, were games that we used to play a lot back in the day. You've got the logo there at the top, the Karate Champ at the arm, with the fist at the end. That's cool. But otherwise, the packaging is the same. It's features artwork inspired by the original cabinet. It is full color screen. It takes the 4 batteries, etc., etc. But again, you do have that piece of history on the side, which I think is really cool. All right, so as far as size and shape go, this is identical to Burgertime. You can see that they've just, well, it is not. As soon as I say that, I realize it's not exactly the same. I mean, it's really close, but if you look, you can see that they've actually cut it differently. Burgertime is curved, whereas Karate Champ has these edges. So what does Bad Dudes do? We'll have to see. I know what bad dudes do. They do bad things. All right, but otherwise it's the same. Now look, this piece is also coming off, and you can see the screw is actually a little undone here. It needs to be screwed back in, tightened. That's a little weird, considering how much these things cost. These run about 30 bucks, but luckily they're on clearance at Toys R Us. You can get them cheaper. Depending on your local store, I've noticed that the liquidation sales aren't all the same. So the price you might pay might be 30% off, it might be 10% off. It depends on where they are in their liquidation, I guess. But otherwise, though, again, it's an impressive looking machine. It's a little bit bigger than some of the other arcade machines that we've seen. But it's bulky. It looks cool. Again, with the power and there's a headphone jack up there, adjustable volume buttons. And this one at the top, they used the opportunity to put the Data East logo on there, which is cool, probably because this one didn't have any additional artwork up there. But let's go ahead and peel this off. Oh, just ripped it. Now I can't reuse that sticker. I was going to reuse that for something, and now I can't. All right. Now this one actually says, licensed by Marvelous USA Inc. to Dream Gear LLC. And Dream Gear, of course, the company that makes these. Alright, so if we focus in here on the screen, I don't know if is that focusing? Okay, let's start. Now, I don't remember a whole lot about this game, so this will be interesting. Got him. Oh, that's right. This is scored like an actual, karate competition. Why am I facing the wrong way? That's weird. What? Turn around! What? That's weird. All right, I've noticed that the direction pad here, if you look, it actually has some traction, some movement. It slides around in there, which does not inspire the greatest confidence in me. And I'm totally going to use that as the excuse for why I'm losing this game. Nonetheless, though, got him on that one. I'm not sure what's going on with these buttons. Apparently, if I press them, I can end up going the wrong direction. I'm not sure how or why. I'm going to have to go back and do some more research on this game itself. But I mean, the game is working. The screen is big. You can definitely see what's going on. But I'm still. That's so weird that screw isn't screwed in all the way. That's definitely a sign of quality problems on their end. I'm also kind of bothered by the fact that here, this stripe is supposed to, curve around and cover the board, and instead it's cut. It doesn't actually go across. And then because of the way they cut it, it's lined up weird. It's traveling along this blank space, and so they didn't you know, they didn't cut a gap into it. They just cut it exactly where it was and folded it over, but put that dead space so you can just see that the lines don't appear to line up because of the way they did that. So that's just, for all the thought that went into the rest of it, the fact that that one is, you know, ignored in that way just seems kind of weird. But still, I do like it overall. I'm just going to have to fix that side. And now, Bad Dudes. I bet this is one of Tyler Baker's favorite games of all time. Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. Was it called Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja? I don't remember that part. Anyway, all right, so we've got the artwork on the side here. Oh, look at all we got ninjas all across the top there. We got the Human Torch. We got this dude getting punched in the nuts, whatever's going on there. And then on this side, you can see the claw guy, and it's got the history. Released in '88, this classic arcade asks one simple question: are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? All right, so there you go. Bad Dudes. Again, box is the same, everything else you've come to expect. So let's get some batteries in this Bad Dude. All right, so now we're going to answer the question that you've all been dying to know. Is this cut like Karate Champ? Nope. So does that mean it's cut like Burgertime? Yep, it's cut like Burgertime. So there you go. So maybe, was this not Data East? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, these two are both Data East, and they both have the Data East logo on the top. Burgertime does not. So did Burgertime come from... So, no, it's a Data East also. So it was Data East. So for whatever reason, it just has more artwork on the top. All right, but it is cut in the same as Burgertime. So I wonder if they have more of these in the works. I wonder if they're going to do like what Caveman Joe or some of the other Data East games in these arcade machines. But let's peel off the Bad Dudes sticker here, and let's give it a whirl. Okay. Yep. I see you, dudes. Oh, it does not say versus Dragon Ninja. Ooh, Blade or Striker? Striker. You know, I like the way Striker lands planes and airplanes, so let's go with Striker. The president has been kidnapped by ninjas. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Can I skip it? All right, Bad Dudes. All right. You can definitely tell that this... the resolution, whatever the resolution is on this screen, it is not the resolution that this game was intended for. Because you can see, if you see that kind of parallax motion happening on the screen, that is happening for real as I'm scrolling along. You can see that it's redrawing those lines, and the lines don't actually fit on the screen the way they're supposed to. So it is having to redraw those a little funky, and that seems to be an issue here because it is not 100% correct for the way it was put together. Although you do have a truck that says Dudes on it, and that's cool. We do have our ninjas coming. We have a jump button and we have an attack button. That's one thing I think these games lack. There's nothing on this board that says attack jump, you know? And a lot of times in the old arcade games, they'd be on the sides. And this has the My Arcade logo on there. They made room for that. But there's nothing actually explaining which button is for which. Now, I understand. I mean, you can only do so much. But at the same time, this one, totally blank on the bottom. They didn't bother to put anything, even though this is a sticker. If you look real close, you can see that this is a sticker that they actually applied to make it blank. Huh, that's something, I guess. But I think it would have been helped to have some information on there. Now, the one thing I'm wondering, Oops, I just hit reset. The one thing I'm wondering is when you die, can you continue, like just as you're adding another credit, or is it going to make you start all over again from the beginning? So I tell you what, I'm going to play this for a minute until I can get to that point. We will edit, and then we'll come back and we'll see exactly how it plays. Okay, so we do have a continue screen. You have continue and end. Although oddly, you can't go back up. Once you go down, you have to go down again to go up. Weird. But okay, so it looks like you can hit start. Okay, so you hit start and it will continue on. So I don't know if it gives you unlimited continues. I don't know, maybe this is a Nintendo ROM or something like that. But as you can see, it is working. So that is something. And now I've got nunchucks. Take that, bro. Are you a bro dude enough for these nunchucks? All right. So overall, yeah, these are cool. You know, again, I'll say it again. I definitely have a preference for Burgertime. That was definitely one of the games that I played all the time. I really enjoyed. Karate Champ is going to take some time. I'm going to have to do some studying on that one. Bad Dudes is Bad Dudes, and some of you are going to love Bad Dudes more than others. That's just going to depend on how much you like those classic video games. But I gotta say, they are bright, they are colorful, the controls are responsive, they do look good, you know, sitting there. If you're gonna have one of these things and, again, put it on your desk at work or on your shelf at home, I think it does look nice. Now, it does fit, even though it is, these are bigger, I don't think it's too out of the way to, you know, put one of these other machines next to it, especially if it's one of these arcade classics that's a little bit bigger. And if you've bought one of these cheap things, like this retro machine, this blue one, of course, I bought it when it was a lot more. Now they're like $5 on clearance at Walmart. I've actually considered buying a couple extras just to have more machines sitting on the shelf. But I don't think, you know, it looks like a bad lineup at all to put it in the middle. It makes it look like it's one of those higher quality machines, one that was trying to grab your attention in the arcades compared to some of the other older machines that had been there. So as far as that goes, you know, I think it looks good. So yeah, overall, I like these machines. Again, whether or not you like the games is going to come down to whether or not you played them, you're familiar with them, and how much you enjoy those retro games. But as far as these go, they are a little more expensive, and I would say wait for them to go on sale. Unless you're dying to play Bad Dudes. I mean, maybe Burgertime. I like Burgertime a lot. And if you've got a lot of these retro arcade machines, and you've got the Frogger, and you've got the Centipede, and you've got, you know, Pac-Man, and what else, and you know, you're looking for another one, that's a good one to put on there. But they, like I said, they are more expensive, so wait for them to go on sale, or if you've got a gift card or, you know, Best Buy dollars. I don't know if Best Buy's going to be carrying these or not, but it's the type of thing that they are cool and they do look nice, but they are a little more expensive, and whether or not it's worth the extra money, that's going to be up to whether or not you enjoy the game. Now, as far as being the same quality as some of these other machines, yes, I would definitely say that it does look a little nicer. It does look like it'll hold up a little bit better than these. These feel a lot more plasticky, vacuum formed plastic. This is components that are screwed together, you know, in some cases better than others, but nonetheless, being able to take this off, use it as a pad versus using it as a joystick, it just adds to the comfort level. So it is a nicer thing, even though it is a little more expensive. But overall, still a good time. That's going to do it for me, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget, popculturenetwork.com. It's where you're going to find toy reviews, comic reviews, podcasts, comic previews, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So don't forget to check us out there. Also, if you just want the toys, you can go to thatnewtoysmell.com. You just want video game stuff, you can go to vglosers.com, home of the video game losers. And that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Dirt, call me.